Hey, how's it going? I'm Mike Squires. This is Couch Riffs Podcast, episode number 153, and my guest, Alicia Vigil, the singing, bass playing front person for Vigil of War, as well as the bass player for Dragonforce. Um, we had a great time talking. This is a super fun conversation to have. Cool story. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you do, first of all, go check out Vigil of War's new single, Vultures. It's great. You're going to love it. And check out vigilofwar.com and go follow them on social media. They're a fun crew. If you're enjoying the Couch Riffs podcast, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/couchriffs. Thank you to the folks who have been supporting for a very long time now. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for leaving a review. All that stuff helps a lot and it's been working. So thank you so much for doing those things. Also, thank you very much to River City Guitars for supporting Couch Riffs since before it even started, really. Bobby over there at River City Guitars is a good dude, and every day is a buying day at River City Guitars. If you've got something you're sitting on, whether it's, some cool old vintage pedal or it's a whole guitar collection, they are interested in hearing about it. Give them a call, 509-818-7693, or shoot them an email, sales.rivercityguitars@gmail.com. Include a picture. Tell them I sent you. We're like family, and you can trust them. They're going to take good care of you. Make sure you follow them on social media because they get things in, they post them there, and the stuff gets sold before it ever makes the website. So it'd be a good idea to follow them on social. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into our conversation with Alicia Vigil. Don't forget the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And try your best to not be a dick. All right, here we go.
Yay. Awesome. Hopefully
Yes.
it's working today. I'm at my guitar player's house. I'm like, I'm not going to chance my internet bullshit.
Oh, good deal. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, good day. It was a good day. Any day I don't fall down and break my hip, it's a good day, pretty much.
Hell yeah. You know?
It's pretty, I'm in New York, it's a slippery ass bunch of shit here.
Oh, man.
We've just been pummeled with snow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's still, typical LA. I think it was like probably 70 something today.
You poor thing.
I know.
You
Poor me. No.
poor thing.
How long have you been in New York, though?
Yeah, almost 6 years.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Very
It's
nice.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So let's catch people up because I decided I'm not gonna try and patch the first bit together. So we'll just recap really quick.
Yeah.
You school band.
School band. Yes, I played the flute from fourth grade till all the way throughout high school. And I played tenor sax for a year as well, which is basically the same fingering. So it was really, not too hard to switch over. But yeah, I learned a lot from that experience. I mean, just from, we were talking a little yesterday, just like you were in the school band too. So, I mean, it's a different experience than being in a rock band because, at least you get to sit down and read music, pick out all these different instruments in this like ensemble setting and, learn about dynamics and where you should sit in the mix, in a live set. It was really cool. I learned a lot. So
That's what we were talking about. That's one thing I thought about it afterwards, and I thought, there's a lot of shit I learned because I
yeah.
just sort of brushed it off. Was like, I learned how to be competitive. Like, what a fucking dude thing to say. But it's true. Like, it is competitive if you have any shred of like competitive spirit in you, school band will drive you nuts, right? And it'll make you strive to be better at things. I was never good at sports or anything, but I was good at music, you know. So I always
Yeah.
took. I never, was on a starting sports team, but I was
Hmm.
always in that first chair.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal being the first chair.
Huge
So,
deal. But
yeah.
the other thing to learn from ensemble playing, right, was not everyone is playing exactly the same thing.
Hmm.
And I feel like I had one of those lightning strikes moments when, because sometimes it can just be chaos, especially in grade school, right?
Yeah.
You're fucking around with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever, but you get into middle school and your things start to get a little more sophisticated.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll throw
Yeah, people start to
sophisticated around it.
actually know how to play it correctly a little bit, and
Yeah.
yeah.
But I remember the first time the band director was like, "All right, stop," and then he counted it off and had each section do their part individually,
Hmm.
just counting to four. And he's like, "Now just play it just like that, and try, don't over listen to everyone else." Because that'll just fuck you up. Because at this point, we're not playing the same thing, right? So there's counter melodies happening, and I think that probably had a huge impact on me. And it
Yeah,
didn't
like
never
even
even
when you don't even like consciously think about it, it's just kind of part of our upbringing, I guess.
you lasted all the way through high school though. Good for you.
Yeah, I was the nerd.
No, it's great, but you were playing bass also?
Yeah, I picked up guitar first,
Yeah.
like around 11, 12. I was like, I really wanted to just be like all these bands I'm watching on Fuse TV or whatever, like sing Avenged Sevenfold and The Used and Mike Kim and, bands like that and wanting to do what they were doing.
Right.
Um, so I dabbled with guitar for a few years. Like I took some just like basic guitar lessons and then I joined. My parents were really awesome. They I was fortunate enough that I got to do like the School of Rock experience a little bit.
They already had
Um,
it.
yeah, they had it.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it was, yeah, I mean, I think it was still kind of fairly new, but I learned a lot from that experience too because it was like playing with all types of different, you know, levels of skill levels, I guess, with all these different kids, and you're constantly mixed in between for different songs, like, and learning different, we got themes. So, like, I've done like a Led Zeppelin, camp. I did like
Right.
a Beatles camp and like a 80s thing. And so, I mean, yeah, it's cool because you get to really learn how to be in a band experience, like in that type of way, like a rock band type of thing. And it was cool because I mean I'm not the greatest guitar player, but it was there that I actually picked up the bass too. They needed a bass player for a song. They were short, I guess, and I never had done that before. And
And that was the
then it
first
was like,
place.
oh, it made all sense to me. Like I love the bass, and now I kind of haven't actually gone back. So,
Huh.
yeah.
It's funny how many people either start on guitar and move to bass or pick up the bass because they don't know any different and they're just like, "What's the bass do? You just don't play chords and it's easy, right? Okay, I'll do that." But I mean, it's pretty laughable to for me to think about that now because I play way more bass than guitar now.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
bass is fun. I don't know. I just identified, I guess, with it more. I don't know. And every band I've been in, I played bass. So I've never actually even played guitar in a band. But I still write sometimes with guitar. But bass
do
has
you
always
remember
been
what
in.
before when you were first taking lessons
Uh huh.
before School of Rock? Uh, do you remember what the first thing you learned where you thought to yourself, "Oh, I got it. I learned it. It
Um,
sounds like the song."
I mean, I can remember the first time because I think my guitar lessons before School of Rock, it was really just like sitting there with, one of those like beginner books and like learning little scales. And that wasn't like as fun when I got to School of Rock for this like summer boot camp. They gave me the song I'm 18 from Alice Cooper
Right.
to learn. It was like an easy kind of riff, but it was awesome. And that was like, wow, I remember going home and practicing it a lot and then getting that and feeling like, wow, I can actually sound like a song. And that was really cool to me. So I think that was probably the first moment when I had like the aha moment, I don't know, with guitar.
Right.
But
What was your first bass?
I had some crappy like Yamaha, like I think it was
Like
like an
student thing?
RBX something. It wasn't actually that bad of a bass. It was fine, but I don't know what
I
happened
have a
to that.
couple killer Yamaha basses now. It's funny that like a lot of Yamaha, like especially through the '90s, a lot of the Yamaha association is with student guitars, because we see
Mhm.
those and they're like the $100 guitar or whatever. But I mean, well, shit. There's two back there. I love them. But yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean
some of the, those are student. Those aren't
the
professional
beginner ones.
instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you first learned on.
Yep. Yep. And
Were
I don't
you?
know.
Are you a fingers or pick player or both?
I'm both.
Yeah.
I pretty much primarily play with a pick now, just because most of my bands it just fits better and it's faster and stuff. But my first band, I only used my fingers in, and you know, it's funny that I feel like that's such a controversial thing right now. People seem to be like, "Oh my God, you're using a pick," like, and I'm like, well. It's so stupid, I'm like, most of my favorite bass players actually use a pick, and it's just a different style, but
Right. Yeah. I mean, you get more attack. It's more aggressive.
yeah.
You know, speaking of aggressive and fingers, it's fucking Cliff Burton's birthday today.
Oh, wow. Hell
Did you know
yeah.
that? I
I
don't
did
know how
not know
old he
that.
would be.
I can't keep track of everybody's birthdays, but hell yeah.
I only know because of, Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. That's where usually I find out as well.
You ever watch Cliff 'em All?
Cliff 'em all.
Yeah, I think it was the first Metallica VHS to come out. And it was like all live footage and backstage stuff. I mean, it came out in like 80, 89 or 90, 89, I'd say.
Nice.
And he was such a bad motherfucker.
Hell
Oh, the baddest.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're not a Metallica fan?
I like Metallica, but I'm not like they weren't. I don't know. I feel like most everyone has them as like one of their biggest influences. They were definitely never one of my like go tos, but I like
They're
Metallica.
your parents'
Ride the
music.
Lightning is an amazing album, and
Oh
I
yeah.
like, yeah. So,
I mean, I don't really love anything after the Black Album. Let's be honest.
yeah,
But they're Metallica. As far as I'm concerned, once you've done that much amazing shit, I think you can kind of get away with a lot.
yeah,
Case in
totally.
point, they. uh, and so I went back and looked at your wiki page or whatever. I learned some more about you. You're
Oh, do I
from
have a
fucking.
wiki page now?
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't know.
even.
You're from fucking Victorville.
I mean, I was born in Apple Valley, yeah. I lived there until I was like 6, like in that area in the middle of nowhere in the
Okay.
desert, But then I
Uh,
moved closer to like the Pasadena area and everything. But yep, I was a desert
I
baby.
was stationed in Barstow,
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
and we used to go to the what's the mall in Victorville? I don't know. We would go to Victorville to the mall. That's where I bought my
That's
my first leather jacket.
no way. Wow.
Wilson's, yeah.
Crazy. Hell yeah. I know that's like pretty much the only thing in that area, right? Like the mall, like
They had the mall, and then on the
Right
other side of the
here.
highway from there was a tattoo shop over there that I got tattooed at a few times. Um, and yeah, not much else. And then the Air
Mm.
Force Base was over there nearby. I don't remember where that was, but
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, I was at the time, I really liked the little town that we lived in, and I was really sad. I remember like having to move, and now I'm like, that was the best thing I think we could have ever, you know, done. I
right.
can't imagine if I was still living out there, it'd be definitely a different life, I think. But, you
I
know,
would say so.
yeah.
So you guys moved closer to town. We'll call it town. That's what
Yeah.
people call the
Yeah,
city.
I guess my parents still live in the same place. And it was the house that my mom actually grew up in, which is pretty cool. So my grandma still like
Oh wow.
owned the property, and we just ended up moving there. It had good schools and closer to more stuff, I guess. So
I,
definitely happy
I
moving
remember that
there.
you said yesterday, for people who are listening, we had a false start yesterday. We had some tech issues, and so we're starting over. So I'm trying to recap some stuff that we talked about yesterday. Um, you said that your mom did a little bit of acting.
Yeah, I mean nothing crazy, but she wanted to be an actress a little bit, so she was taking some acting classes, which is kind of what made me want to dabble
Yeah.
with that a little bit too. Like right when I'd moved to this, new place and kind of the Pasadena area, now that we were closer to LA, we can actually kind of do stuff like that. So, I was like, yeah, I really want to do it. And she's like, if you're serious, I'll sign you up. So I did do acting for maybe like 3 or 4 years, like seriously, like where I was like, this is what I want to do until I like found the bands that I was like obsessed with, and I'm like, yeah, this makes a lot more sense to me, and I
Right.
like the people better, and I don't know, but it was fun being on set when you get to actually get a role and do that kind of thing.
There
So
are elements of acting and being in a band that are similar. Like being on, I mean, being on stage is being on stage, right?
mm-hmm.
I mean, you get to.
Perform and like step into a character in a way. I was literally just telling my dad this earlier, like, because he's learning how to play drums and
Oh, that's awesome.
over the last 5 years and stuff. So he has his little jam buddies, and he's like, there's this part where I think I might need to sing it, and I never. I'm like, you just do it. That's how we all end up singing, like no one wants to do it until someone just volunteers. But it's kind of like if you're an actor, you're kind of like stepping into a role. Like that's what made me more comfortable, like singing. I never wanted to be a singer, but it's like you kind of just get into this like alter ego character, and you're like, yeah, you're confident, you're badass, like I'm just gonna, if you belt it, and you just project your voice, like it's gonna sound better than if you're like shy and timid about it, and it's gonna not come out right, and I don't know.
Right.
So
Let me back up for a second.
uh-huh.
Only in the last 5 years, your father picked up a musical instrument.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like he just, because my parents have always loved music, but they never played. It's not like my family was very musical, like in their like playing wise. So my
Right.
dad just decided at like whatever age, 50 something, like, yeah, I'm gonna start learning drums. So I think it's pretty cool.
You
I
think that you inspired him to play music?
think so. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost exclusively the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Like way more people are inspired to pick up an instrument because of having, their parents play music around them. But that's amazing.
Yeah, I think because he loves coming to all the gigs, and he loves reading musician books, and knowing about he's like, yeah, I should start. I'm not too old. I can start doing this. And so him and his buddies both started and like jam in the garage and stuff. So It's cool. It's nice to see, and he's grown out, over the last 5 years too.
What kind of stuff are they playing?
Just dad jams, like I don't
Bad
know.
Company.
I think no, he was learning a Queen song today, which is the one that he was talking about of like,
That spans generations. Young people are into Queen.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. Or do young people give a shit about Bad Company? I just associate Bad Company with being a dad band. Like they should be called Dad
yeah,
Company.
maybe I guess, but
Paul Rogers sang with Queen, coincidentally.
hell yeah.
Is he into metal and harder rock? Like he comes and sees you.
I mean, my dad is really into punk and reggae and new wave, like that kind of stuff. So he was
Ooh,
never into
that sounds
metal, really.
cool.
Yeah, no, I was lucky that I just grew up listening to all this stuff all the time. So it was weird when kids my age would not know what I'm talking about. I'm like, how do you not know that song? Like, doesn't everyone listen to this, at home? Like,
So
so
what were you hearing in the house growing up?
a
As in,
lot of like, anything from like The Cure and the Smiths to like, all the classic punk bands like the Sex Pistols and the Clash and a lot of reggae too, Bob and
right.
a lot of band. I mean, just whatever they like a wide range of stuff. I remember listening a lot of Frank Sinatra too, like with my dad and they just put on a lot of good stuff all the time, which is I think kind of why even with like my band, there's a lot of it's not just like a rock band. It's kind of like we have a lot of influences and we just play whatever and write all kinds of different styles within our one band, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
we're not limited in a box, so
Did you
yeah.
pursue any musical education after school, after the School of Rock stuff?
No, I think just being in bands, like, just the
Yeah. You weren't like a
street.
GIT person. You didn't go that route, any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Uh,
This
that's I love that you absolutely didn't do that, and then you still get the Dragonforce gig, which I'll bet you there are like, there are 150,000 bassists out there that are like, what? I stay.
Aw.
I went to nerd school to get this gig.
Oh man, I know, and I'm sure there's 150,000 bass players that are probably better than me, but like,
Eh,
I just wanted it really bad and there's other aspects that, I think I do that helped me get my position, like just I think I run everything in my band, which is what they do. They really Herman Lee in the band. I mean, he does so much work. I mean, everybody in the band does, but I think he saw that in me and was like, "That's cool," like she runs everything in her band, like, and that would help out with us, and yeah, so I'm kind of helping them with other things that people don't realize, like social media and like, like the other day I was helping Herman like find every single fake Dragonforce shirt on Amazon and like finding the product codes and like stuff like nerdy stuff like that, like so it's not just you don't have to be just a power metal bassist because I've never come from that background and I had to work really hard to even be able to play some of the stuff. I mean, it's not the guitar stuff. It's not like on
right.
bass, but it's definitely a lot tougher than anything I was playing before. So
It's not ACDC.
it's not ACDC, yeah. But
Uh, yeah, that's incredible. How I want to back up. Let's back up first before
yeah.
we get into any of that stuff. So when so you're going to school in Pasadena.
Mhm.
You don't
Or
live in
ish. I
Pasadena.
mean that area.
You live closer in now. Are you in Hollywood or something?
I'm in. I'm like telling people where I live. No, I'm in like the Burbank area.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I
I
love
think
it.
I
It's
think I would
nice.
live in the valley if I lived there.
Yeah, it's like, I did live in Hollywood for a few years, and I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Like, I don't want to have to, like, walk outside with my pepper spray ready to go, and, like, it just smells like crap. There's homeless people everywhere, and just, yeah, I'm over that.
I don't think
It's nice.
I couldn't afford to live in Silver Lake or Los Feliz.
I mean, if you're paying New York prices, it's probably similar, but, I mean,
Not right now. No, we live,
yeah,
I mean, we were in Brooklyn for a long time, and yeah, that's stupid money. But that didn't.
yeah.
I wasn't about to. No, I ain't going out like that. That's a lot of dough, man. It's a lot of money. I'm not trying to throw some money like that at rent.
Right? And it's
The
like
way we
not
bought a
even that
house.
great of an area sometimes. You're like, why am I paying this much for like somewhere that's small and
I got to park
takes a
on a
piece of garbage?
hill. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a lot happier where I am. It's very peaceful. You don't ever even run into really anybody you know, which is kind of cool because I'm a weird introvert and it's nice. It's just
But it's
families and
cool
old
you go to
people.
one of them Starbucks over there in the valley though. You run into all kinds of people.
Yeah,
You
some of the
see?
valley. I'm like in the valley where nobody's really at, but definitely you start hitting North Hollywood and like the places where all the musicians are for sure. Yeah,
Right. I've
but
seen some like yeah, a parade of all kinds of characters. Yeah. LA is very funny that way.
yeah,
Do you ever like do you identify as being an LA person?
I do. Yeah, I mean, I feel like LA. I don't know if I don't know. I feel like it gets this like rep that the people that move here from somewhere else make us look bad, but
Oh,
all
oh,
the
I would
LA
agree with you
natives.
there. Well, because people
Yeah.
that move there have all these fucking weird ideas about what it's going to be like there, right?
They're like, I'm gonna be a star, and they put on this like LA personality and like try to one up everyone and just narcissistic, and you're like, yeah, just chill out,
Those are
like,
the people that hand you a business card with like six things on it,
yeah,
and they're like, I'm working on a script, but here's my demo, and also, uh, if you need help with, your yard, I'll come over and take care of that for you.
yeah,
And it's just like, I don't need your Photoshop skills. Thank you, though. You're a world
yeah. I
class
mean,
hustler.
LA can definitely be ridiculous in a lot of ways, but I do feel like I grew up here and I love it in a lot of ways too. But
I,
sometimes, yeah, the
I
people.
like it. I really do like it. I almost moved there two or three times,
Oh yeah.
and then I just couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't do it. I mean, I think I even had landing places,
Oh
you know,
wow.
but I don't know. I think by the time I decided that I wanted to go there, I felt like I was too old to hustle as hard as I was going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, I feel like everything happens the way it's supposed to. So it's like maybe you're not supposed to be here right now, and you could
Yeah.
always move here whenever, you know?
I'll move
I
there
don't
when I'm
know.
rich. Yeah. All right. So, how do you go from School of Rock, right? And when do you quit doing School of Rock? Are you
I
cuz
was
that
like,
goes up to 19, doesn't it?
they
I
have
was,
adult programs too, but I stopped when I was like 15, I think.
oh, okay.
So I played for 3 years or so,
And
and then it
so
was
at
just
15 you start doing original bands?
yeah. Well, maybe a little like 16, 17. Yeah. And back then I wasn't like, you know, I was joining other friends' bands and like
What
I
were your
wasn't
bands
fronting it
called?
at all. What's that?
What were your bands called?
We had a band called Bad Wolf. That was like the main one, and then it
That's a
wasn't
pretty
actually
tough
too
name.
much later that I ended up like kind of starting my own garage band type of thing myself. with some friends, which my guitar player in Vigil of War was actually a part of, but it never made it out of the garage because I never found the right singer. I didn't want to sing at the time. I was like, we'll keep writing these songs, demoing them out with this like producer friend of mine, and then, we had a full band but not a singer, and then it just didn't work out. But it was after that I was still playing a little bit with that one band and then doing that on the side that um, I had basically, on a side note, grown up watching and being a fan of this band Black Veil Brides that really blew up, and I was there
Yeah.
from like the very, very, very beginning, like their first show in LA where there was like 20 people there, and like so they were kind of like big brothers to me at the time. um, and the singer knew that I played bass, so they had done a show where they had Jerry only from the Misfits come play with them. And Jerry had this idea, hey, I'm putting together this girl band, I don't know yet, and he's like, well, I have a couple members for you if you want. Like, I have my, this girl Alicia, she plays bass. My wife, she sings, whatever. So I got a call randomly when I'm like 18 and I'm working at like a retail shop in Melrose, and then it's like, hi, I'm Jerry Only, and I'd like to, audition you for this girl band I'm putting together. I'm like, what the hell? So my life like totally changed overnight. And I started like just basically, I think it was a bass player thing. Like, he just associated me with like kind of leading the band with him in a way. Like, he just started randomly like sending me a bunch of stuff in the mail. I'm like, all right, Vampire Girl, let's start writing these songs and, find some members. So I ended up being in this all girl band called She Demons with him, and it was awesome. It was such an amazing experience. And we were together for about a year and a half, until we were disbanded. But it was great. Got to
That's
tour with
fucking
them. And
awesome.
yeah, it was
You guys
super
toured.
cool. Yeah, we got to tour with the Misfits like a couple times, and it was incredible. It was really cool. Unfortunately, you can't really find that much stuff from us because since we were disbanded, they kind of like took all our stuff down. So you can't really find too much stuff about us anymore.
Right.
But the girl that's playing with me now, Kiki Wongo, she was in the She Demons with me. So yeah, it was really cool. I'm still great friends with all the girls in the band, and
Oh,
took a lot from that experience because I was like, playing, only to like not that many people at like some back alley venue like in LA, or like, the small clubs, whatever, to like playing in front of like Misfits type of crowds. Like,
right.
that was crazy.
He is a
So,
fucking character too.
oh yeah.
We
He's a
did a
fun.
festival date with them years ago, and he was like rolling around backstage with bottles of water. Like, you guys stay hydrated. Everyone drinking water. It's hot. It's summer. He's like making sure everyone, you taking your vitamins. And he's like
Yup.
pouring emergency into people's water, and here you drink this. It was amazing.
Hell yeah, that sounds about right. And he'll bring his like workout bench and just start working out in the parking lot, like grilling burgers, and you're like, is that Jerry Only? Like, what the hell's going on? Like,
Uh,
yeah, it was a crazy, wild, but amazing experience.
he
So,
gave me a giant, like, I don't even know what it's for, a giant Misfit sticker that's like, you know, huge. Maybe it goes on a guitar case, or maybe it goes in your back window or something of your car, you
hell
know.
yeah,
And I was just like, fuck yeah, thanks, man. This is awesome. Like, you're the best uncle ever. And then
right? Yeah,
and
that's a
then
good
he
one.
gave my bandmate the shirt right off his back. He was
That
like
sounds like
actually,
something
like you
he
hear those
do.
stories like, oh, he'd give you the shirt off his back. He
Yeah.
took his shirt off and goes and hands it to him after the show. I mean, it's kind of nasty, but Jeff has that shirt to this day.
Oh, no way.
Like, it's a
Yeah, that sounds like something Jerry would do. I mean, he's very generous and just constantly like whatever's around him, or Misfits merch, just here, everybody, here's something, and
What
Having
a supremely positive guy. Like, I didn't talk to him a ton, but just being around him, I was just like, this is great. This
hell
guy
yeah.
is not who I thought he was.
Yeah,
This guy,
totally.
yeah. That's what
So
an incredible experience for you to have at 18.
yeah, I think just about to I was like just turning 19 at the time, and
Yeah.
yeah, all of this happened. My first tour when I was 19, and it was crazy. It was amazing. But
And so you're still not singing.
still not singing, but that was the first time that I kind of did because our singer, Priya Panda, she has her own band called Diamonds that's been around for about 10 plus years. And they were offered these amazing gigs in Japan the same time as our tour. And it was just, she'd be missing 4 shows, and she's like, guys, like, I don't know what to do, like, is it possible you guys can step up and just cover like these 4 shows? We it was like some ridiculous, like 35 show tour or something we were doing. So we're
Right.
like, yeah, we'll figure it out. So it was like me, Constance, the other guitar player, and Kiki, the other guitar player. We just stepped up to the plate and learned the set because we already knew those songs really well. I just had never thought I'd ever want to sing, and I didn't know that I could or sing and play at the same time, any of that. So that was the first time. I only had 2 songs, but it was the first time I ever did sing live, and I was like, oh crap, I guess I can do this. So,
So you
um,
never, they never stuck a microphone in front of you at School of Rock and said, "Here,
nope.
kid, sing." No.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I
And
never wanted to. I was always a shy one. Like, especially back in those School of Rock days, I wouldn't even like look up from my instrument. I'd just stand there like in one spot and like be really nervous and but it's like the more you kind of play, the more comfortable I kind of got and.
background vocals at all?
Back then, no. I think in my first band, that Bad Wolf band, that was the first time I did a little bit of background vocals, and I remember being so nervous to even do that.
Right.
But yeah, She Demons was the first experience that I realized I guess I can kind of do this.
And
So
so the first time you fucking do it is as actually
my band, yeah,
like on
or
tour. Like
on tour, yeah, yeah.
do you guys just practice at sound check and
Mhm.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Were you nervous as hell?
Oh yeah, I was like shitting my pants. Like, I
I
mean,
hope
and I think
not.
that's like one of the unfortunately like one of the only videos if you type in She Demons on YouTube, it's like the first thing that pops up is like me singing from the first show that we did in Dallas. I'm like, of course. So we did a Strength to Endure Ramones cover, and it was awesome. But it was like, oh man, the range. Like I've done that now in my band as a cover, and I've done it in a different range now.
Right.
but it was cool. It was a big stepping stone for me. So
But by the fourth show, were you like, oh, this is old bag. I got this.
it was
Don't
kind of
even bother
fun.
coming back.
I mean, no, I mean it was definitely a fun experience. So I had a lot more fun, I guess, than I thought I would because I was super nervous to do it, and I was just enjoying the fact that I was like, oh, I guess I can kind of do this. And so when the band ended, and our singers lives in Canada, so I was like, well, we can't even like really. We were trying to see if we could even keep the band going, but it just wasn't working. Everyone was just like lost so much steam. Everyone was really depressed after, and
Right.
I was devastated because that was like my baby. Like my everyday. Like I thought about it. I quit my job for it, and like just it was my everything. So it took a little like a few months until I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna freaking do this myself. Like so that's why I started my band, Vigil of War, and yeah, I was like, I guess I'll just sing it because I've been the leader before, but I've always been the bass player. But you know what? Let's just move forward, like try to get some stuff going, and yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. But
And so you're like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna write some songs.
mhm.
Did you just go to your room and have your laptop and go to work? Were you working with a co-writer or producer, or were you hashing
I
it out
had
in a room with a band that you put together?
It was me at first, and then I had like somebody I was writing with, and then a producer friend to just demo out the first song.
Uh-huh.
So I had one song idea before this band called Barbed Wire Dolls, like a cool punk band, female fronted. She had wrote me and was like, hey, like, you have a do you have your band together? Like we have this Whiskey a Go-Go residency coming up in, about 6 weeks. Like if you want to, do you want to jump on the bill? And I'm like, yep. Yeah, I totally got it ready. And I'm like, shit, I need to figure out what my band is called. I need to find bandmates. I got to write the rest of the set. And yeah, I had to like get all my shit together in like 6 weeks, and it was awesome. So I kind of needed that deadline to like light the fire and just make it all happen, because I always am a firm believer of like, say yes, don't let an opportunity pass, and just figure out the details later. So
Wait,
that
that's
really
fucking
helped.
amazing. Now stop for a second. For anyone that this slipped past, and if anyone does not understand the weight of the responsibility you just shouldered on yourself after taking this phone call. So your phone rings, you're like, let's see what this is about. Uh this person says, 6 weeks, we got a show, come on, let's go. And you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just bullshitted my
You
way
don't
into
even,
it.
you don't have a band at all?
I had one song demo, and that was it. I didn't even have bandmates, so I just had to like call up like, the first couple people I thought of, and then audition a guitar player and a drummer. Found them really, kind of quickly, and just threw this band together. Um, Wrote the rest of the song with my co-writer at the time.
How long was your
Um,
set?
it was 30 minutes, so
So you got to
not
have
too
like
bad. But
six,
we were the first band on the bill too, which
five,
was
six
like,
songs.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then like a cover. So it was, yeah, it was a lot
Still
of
a
work in
lot
that
of
amount of
shit.
time, but it
That's a
was awesome.
lot to get done in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Did you? I bet you even came up with a logo for your band in that
Yep.
6 weeks.
Yep.
You
I
seem
called
like a
up.
fucking overachiever.
Yeah. Sometimes I just need those deadlines. I'm like, and it got merch made. Um.
Really?
Yep. And yeah, it was a great 6 weeks. I really needed that deadline, I think, to kind of make some shit go. But
How did the gig go? Were you
it
guys
went
pretty well
awesome. Yeah, it was a
rehearsed?
4-week residency, so we played every Monday, and we actually started. We were the first band on the bill, like at like 7:30 at night, and
Right.
out of like like 5 other bands or whatever. But they were free shows, so it was a really great opportunity. So I just flyered the shit out of them, which nobody seems to be doing anymore. Like, back in the day, that was like very common. So
No.
it was kind of an advantage for us, because, I would just hit up every single concert that was happening at the time and like flyer it and be like, hey, my band's playing for free show at the Whiskey, blah blah blah, check us out. And that, like, we ended up bringing actually the most people besides the headlining band, so that a year later when we did the same residency, we were like direct support instead of the first band on the bill. And then we actually got to headline the Whiskey within a year as well. Like, it was just really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't get why people don't do that. It's like something physical in somebody's hand is way better than some internet post. You know what I mean? It's not going to go anywhere. And like,
Also, being in front of someone's face and saying, "Hey, I'm
mm-hmm,
playing a free show. My
totally.
band kicks ass. If you're
Yeah.
into this and that and the other, you'll like us."
Yeah.
That instead of some bullshit email invitation that goes to junk mail, like
Yeah.
you gotta get in front of people.
Exactly.
I think people actually appreciate it, whether they express it or show it or not.
Yeah, even if I've had a lot of people even that haven't come to the show maybe, or didn't go to those shows, but say, hey, I remember meeting you for like, you passed me a flyer one time after this whatever show, or like, I still have my flyer from one. So it's like, even if it's just getting that name in in somebody's mind, and then they might end up checking you out at some point, and like, they'll remember you. I always, and that's part of the reason, like, my hats, I've always collected hats, but I always think that having some kind of thing that makes people remember you is always special too, like,
Right.
because it's hard to stand out, I guess, in a way.
You were that chick that stapled a flyer to my shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the hat, yeah. So,
So how many? It was 3 or 4 weeks. How many weeks was it?
it was, yeah, 4 weeks, so 4 shows once every Monday, and yeah, it was a really great
So once
experience.
you got over the jitters of that first show, because this is the first time you fronted a band, also.
Yeah, it was
Like, not
terrifying.
only, I mean, this is a brand new band, a brand new role for you. What a, I mean, I've never fronted a band. I don't want to front a band. It seems like a lot of responsibility. You
It
know,
is a lot different than just being the bass player. I mean, I love it in certain ways, but there's certain things that I'm still like stage banter to me is like, I hate it because I'm kind of an awkward person and I'm just not good on the spot. Like if shit happens or like I remember one time our drummer at the time like kicked through his like kick drum or whatever, and like we had to like stall for 5 minutes, and I'm not one of those like natural like born lead singers that can just like command a crowd for and entertain them.
David
Like
Lee
I know like
Roth.
so yeah. So I mean, there's still things that I'm definitely learning, but I've grown a lot since those first shows, and even every week, like we'd start taking notes of like what we could do better, and you know it's been cool, and there's been a lot of people that have been at those residency shows from the beginning that have grown with us too, like just even audience members that feel like they've grown with us. So it's cool. But
Do you, let me ask you this. Do you have a favorite front person for banter?
for banter,
Yeah. Do you have a favorite banterer? Is that a word?
I mean, there's definitely some favorite, like Justin Hawkins from The Darkness is one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite frontmen
No,
ever. I
he's
think he's
great.
amazing and so entertaining. He can do no wrong. Juliette Lewis is freaking awesome as well as a front
Yeah.
woman. I don't know, just those people that can just like command the stage. I don't know. Like I think
I'm
that's really
pretty
cool
fond of
because
Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley, fuck yeah,
Have you
he's
ever
really
heard have you ever heard that
good.
the clip of where they just take all they did I've heard the same thing for Venom where they just take all the music out and it's just the between song banter?
Yes, yes. I was actually just listening to some part of this yesterday or the day before or whatever. It's like, yeah, so I can admire that because that takes a certain amount of skill that I was definitely not born with. So, I
Well,
mean,
that's like some weird like vaudevillian uh, slash Vegas kitsch. I don't even know what. Like, what a weird act Kiss is. I love it so
definitely.
much, though. All right, so as these gigs go on, these 4 gigs, you're getting more comfortable, or
Hmm.
did you have any crash and burns at all? Or is it just like, does it go off aces?
I mean, I can definitely watch back at those some of those early shows and go, "Oh my god, I sound terrible." But like, I think we were definitely kind of steadily rising and getting more comfortable and sounding tighter every time and learning what worked for us. So I'm pretty proud of our progress over the last 4 years. Like, just how far we've come, and we're still growing. I think like the stuff we're writing right now and just have recorded is the best stuff we've ever done. Like, so, and it was 100% us. Like, we didn't work with any songwriters or anything. And
Yeah,
so it's just cool because I don't think anyone should ever stop growing and, you know,
for sure. I guess I
yeah.
meant more specifically those first 4 shows.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Yeah,
within
and
in those first 4 shows, did you have any like oh shit moments? Like any crash and burns, or was it?
um,
And did it over the course of those 4 shows? By the fourth one, were you just like, all right, get me the next show?
I mean, nothing too crazy happened. It was just mostly like my voice was not used to, singing it. But I mean, I definitely got more comfortable as the shows went on, like during those 4 weeks. So I don't know if that
Yeah.
helps answer it. But I mean, yeah, luckily there
Yeah.
wasn't anything too crazy of a mistake or thing that happened. But
Once you got on the other side of those 4 shows, did you seek vocal coaching?
I
Because you're a
did,
great singer.
yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. I didn't, I mean, I'd still like to honestly take more, but I did take vocal lessons for a little bit after that, just to really help, like, figure out, because I wasn't even sure, like, where my range was really at that. I was just figuring out what the hell, like, I was doing. Like, so, I mean, now I kind of know where my voice sits a little better and what things that my strengths are and what my weaknesses are. And
What
I can
keys to
just
write in?
yeah, so that really helped, and just learning vocal exercises. Because I remember even on the She Demons tour, where we sang four shows, and I had two songs, and then the rest of the set, throughout the whole tour, I was doing background vocals, but I lost my voice twice on tour because I just didn't. I was just dumb. Like, I didn't warm up at all. I, was drinking with the girls, like, after, and, like, I didn't take care of my voice. So now I know, like, I warm up every show, and I
Right.
really don't drink when I have to sing because that just kind of dries my voice out. But, I learned, like, different things that, like, suit my vocals and
Right.
what doesn't work. So,
What's the most important thing that you learned from? Was it like warm your voice up?
yeah, I'd say so. Just and it doesn't even have to be anything crazy, but just seriously, like, warming up really does, like, make such a difference because I've never lost my voice since then. So
Right.
yeah.
Now, w- when you like take up the front person role and you're singing, you're pouring all of this energy and focus into your voice and into writing, and you're singing. Does What happens to your bass playing at this point? Are you just like, fuck this, I'm doubling down and I am not going to take a hit, I'm going to practice even harder on the bass? Because it's also, I think it's harder to play bass and sing than it is to play guitar and sing.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I mean, I guess I've never actually played guitar and sang, so I really wouldn't even know. But it is tough depending on what the rhythm is, like
Right.
yeah, it sucks because I'm like, I can definitely play this on bass, but can I sing and play this on bass? Like, I don't know. Like, so sometimes there's been, a couple occasions where I've had to, like, slightly rearrange what I'm playing so that I can still sing the right cadence of, like, what I'm singing. But most of the time I try to, like, write accordingly. Like, all
Right.
right, during the parts and the verses and the chorus where I'm singing, like, it'll be more simple bass parts, and then, like, maybe when I'm not singing I can play something cool. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. And then there's other times where I also like to just run around and be a front person, so I give my bass to, like, the guitar player and just run around because I also think that's another form of, like, it's a different vibe and a cool entertainment factor, I think, with the
Yeah,
band,
sure.
so I won't have to worry about it and I can just run around and be crazy and stuff. So
When you say you'll alter your parts, do you keep that in mind while you're tracking, while you're recording a song? Like, will you change a part on the recording so that you can play it live like the recording, or will you just lay a recording down and then
I try
change
to
it
keep it in
later?
mind. Um, but it depends too, because, like, my guitar player will also come up with stuff, and sometimes I'm like, frick, that's such a cool bass line. Like, I don't want to change it now, I'm like, so it's hard because I've definitely done both, where it's like I've made sure it's, like, the right thing in the studio, but then there's other times where I just let it kind of slide. I'm like, I'll figure it out later.
Right.
Um, But
Do you have a favorite singing bass player?
singing bass player, I guess I never really thought about that. I
I
mean,
mean, there are some famous ones. Phil
yeah,
Lynott, uh, Sting. There's this guy named Sting.
Sting. Sting is cool. His daughter is actually a singing bass player, and she's freaking cool too.
Is that right?
Elliot Sumner. Yeah. I
Elliot
guess I never really.
Sumner.
Yeah, Elliot Sumner. Yeah,
Is
and she
she good?
sounds just like her dad. Yeah, she's great.
He
Um,
has an amazing high voice on those first couple records, and he's not afraid to use it, right?
yeah.
What's her band called?
The one that I like is just her name, Elliot Sumner. She's got a few different like side projects, but that one's really cool. It's like kind of new wavy, but sounds like her dad singing at the same time. It's weird. It's cool.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to
But
think of other singing bass players that what Geddy Lee,
Lemmy,
Lemmy,
uh, yeah, I
pretty
guess I've
good.
never really thought about like for some reason that much.
I mean, it's a less conventional role for someone to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always think it's cool. I think it's almost cooler when the front person is the bass player to me. Like
Yeah, I think
in
so.
some way I don't know why. I'm trying to think of other great examples. Uh Vigil of War is a perfect example. Um oh, there's got to be some Winger. You're like, who's that?
Don't I couldn't name a song for sure, but I've heard the name.
You really have never heard of Winger? Like your dad listened to The Clash. Of course you don't know who Winger is. That's amazing. God. Um yeah. Okay. So how long are you doing this after this 6 week blitz? Was it 6 weeks or 5 weeks?
Like the first residency was, yeah, it was like 4 weeks.
No, the build, the five,
Oh
the
yeah, the
deadline.
build like 6 weeks.
It's insane. So you get the 6 weeks to the finish line. You make it. It goes off great. Then what?
Then we go and record a music video and start booking other shows and then
Like how
start.
quickly after those 4 gigs do you guys make a video?
I think it was the next month.
And it was for that
So,
first song that you.
yes, for the first song. And then after that, we started recording the EP. And then the couple members, the people that we auditioned just ended up not working out. I think it was just like, I kind of got them together really quickly and they didn't really understand what being in a band was supposed to be. But my guitar player, the one that I had asked originally to be in the band, he's still in it now. Like, he's, my right hand man in Vigil of War. So me and him just kind of took over and like started recording our first EP from there. We're like, we'll just build get the songs out there and then find our main lineup. And
Right.
yeah.
So when
So,
you're recording those songs, who's playing the other instruments? How are you guys figuring that out?
I mean, he plays guitar, so he was playing all the guitar stuff as well as our producer, who's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
And then I was playing bass and singing. So I hired my friend to play the drums on our EP,
Yeah.
but it wasn't too much longer when we got our next drummer, who ended up being in the band for basically this entire time until up until just recently because he moved. But yeah, so yeah.
Nice. So how how do things start developing from there? You make the EP, you do a video, and you just start. Have you guys toured?
We did a DIY tour last year, or shoot, it's already been 2 years, I guess now, since
2019.
Corona has messed my brain up. But
Yeah.
2 years ago, did like a DIY UK tour, which was really cool.
Oh, amazing.
So, and my drummer is currently shaking his butt right now. Anyway,
That's what drummers should do.
drummers, hell yeah. But yeah, because of I swear those whiskey a go go residencies like kind of did everything for my career. Like it was because of a different whiskey residency that like a guy from England ended up being there and really digging us. He just happened to, come check us out. And he's like, I'm going to go back home and tell some bookers about you guys. And I'm like, yeah, sure. But like,
Right.
hell yeah, man, just thinking like it's not going to happen, whatever. And then I got an email from this guy. He's like, hey, like this guy Ash told me about you guys. And I run like a small festival and I know some other bookers if you ever want to come over here. I'm like, hell yeah. So then, that was like 3 shows worth. And then I just started writing a bunch of venues in the UK. And I'm like, hey, could my band from Los Angeles come over there? Like, you know, let's make
Fortune
some shows
favors the
happen.
bold.
What's that?
Fortune favors the bold. And that is
Yeah.
fucking bold. Good for you. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
just based
It
on
was
this
fun.
person who liked your band, he's like, I'm gonna get you guys some gigs.
Yeah. Which is
And
crazy.
so how many gigs came directly from through this festival booker and how many did you book on your own?
I got 3 from that original booker, and then I think I can't remember now how many we ended up doing, like probably 8 or 9, maybe
Total
total.
or like 8 or 9 gigs
Eight
total.
or nine gigs total. It was just like, small little clubs, and it was just so much fun. And I'm like, trying to figure out the route over there. Like, I'd been to England, luckily, so, and everyone speaks English, so it's not as
Right.
crazy, but it's still a foreign country. So it was like, oh man, my drummer's got to figure out how to drive on the left side of the road, and renting this mom van. It was awesome, and figuring out where to stay. And I mean, they're so generous over there. Like most of the venues or the bookers just like had places for us to stay and would feed us and stuff. And but yeah, it was such a cool experience, and I can't wait to do it again. But
Touring in the UK and in Europe and really fucking anywhere outside of America is almost an unrecognizable experience, right?
yeah,
It's almost a completely different activity.
totally.
That
And they get it. I don't know. Like I don't know if it's because we're an American band and to us, to them they might think, "Wow, whatever," but like they seem to just get rock music more over there, and they still got Krang and Scuzz or whatever, and like on the radio and TV. So I don't know. They just seem to get us more there. It was cool.
did you guys bring merch and stuff with you, or did you guys go on in on the sly?
Yeah, no, we brought a bunch of merch, and
You
it
guys
did.
rented backline, or did you use backline from each venue?
We made sure that all the venues provided the back line, so we just had our instruments, and yeah, it was crazy. It was
You
cool.
guys took care of work visas on your own, or you guys just sort of slid under the radar?
We did have a work visa. Yeah. Like
And you
luckily
took
one
care
of
of all
the
this
they're
shit
so
yourself?
nice. What's that?
You took care of all this shit yourself.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
great. It's amazing. I've never had to do any of that stuff, and I would probably curl up in a ball crying if I had to organize all that.
I mean, I definitely did that a couple times, but no, but it was worth all the like I push myself and like the stress and like oh my god, but like I need to get this done and like and it ended up being like the most fun thing, like one of the most fun I've ever had. So it was super worth it, and I
Oh,
think
how amazing.
yeah.
Do you remember what towns you went to?
Yeah, we went to let's see, Blackpool, Went to Edinburgh, which was awesome, in
That's a
Scotland.
great place. Yeah.
Manchester, Sheffield, um, Camden Town, like London. Um, Whitchurch, which is kind of in the. It was this interesting gig.
You
Um,
guys do Nottingham?
we didn't. No, there was a couple others, but those are the ones coming to mind at the moment. But yeah, it was awesome.
Did you are you still in contact with any folks that you met there? Like, do you have plans to go back
Yeah, yeah, I'm still friends with all of those bookers, and they're all like very welcoming, saying anytime you guys want to come over, like let us know, and
after
so
masks
we're
the era of masks is over?
exactly. And hopefully, I think one of the venues already has shut, unfortunately, but I think the
Yeah,
other ones, as far as I know, are still holding on. So
right.
let's hope. But and now it's just like whenever my Dragonforce schedule, like whenever I have time off, is when I'm gonna try to schedule in Vigil of War as much as possible, and definitely try to get back to the UK pretty soon. So
So when was that tour for your band? That was 2019 or
19,
2008? 19.
yeah.
And what was it, summer? It was festival, so I'm assuming it was summer or late summer.
This is actually February, so it was like really cold and it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
But
it's cold there in February.
yeah.
It's rainy as hell.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, that's nuts. So you get back, and it's not that much longer before it's announced that you're joining Dragon Force. It's like
Yeah, it was
months.
I mean, within the year, yeah, it was a lot that happened. I mean, we went back in the studio and then we ended up actually getting to play this awesome, like, the Warp Tour anniversary thing. Like, that was our last show that we even have done, which is crazy because that was already a year and a half ago now, since
Right.
Corona. But um, that was like such a high, it was like this whole amazing year. And then our drummer ended up having to leave the band, which was like devastating, because we were such a unit. But um, yeah, then I ended up getting a message on my inbox from Herman Lee going, "Hey, like, you know, I've a couple people have told me about you, and we're basically our bassist Fred left the band, so if you're interested in auditioning, let me know." And I was like, "What the hell?" Like,
You're like, is this real?
yeah, I mean, I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm gonna get a Dragon Force gig. Like, that's beyond insane." But I just wanted to see what that would even be like, even just auditioning for something at that level, and I met Herman and, kind of just talked over what they'd expect from me. And I started videotaping myself playing some of the songs. And yeah, within like, there was probably like a couple months worth where I didn't know what was happening. Like, I didn't know if I had the gig yet or not. I had to go, like, I got to go meet them when they came here on tour playing at the Ventura,
Where do
whatever,
those guys
Majestic
live?
Theater. What's that?
Where do those guys live?
Most of them are in England and Europe. Like, our drummer's in Italy, and then the guitar player and singer are in England, and then Herman lives here in Woodland Hills. So he
No.
was the only one here. But it was crazy because actually the reason that I was even had my name thrown in the hat was because a guy that's a regular that comes to all our Vigil of War shows, like even from that first whiskey show, is happens to know Herman. So I had no idea. He was the one who recommended me. So it was like crazy. It was like you never know who's gonna be in the audience. Like,
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
Dave is like awesome. He's just like one of our friends, and like who's become our friend who just comes to all our shows is like one of our kind of like fan, I guess. And he's the one who ended up recommending me for this gig. So, um, yeah, it was crazy. So it was like those whiskey shows really did like pretty much everything for me. I mean,
It's
yeah,
incre- it's incredible that they were the first four fucking shows.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How how many songs did you have to learn for the I mean, was there an official audition, or was it like, okay, we want you to, let's see you play these songs, and no bullshit like miming. It's
Yeah.
set up your camera, play along, and we want to see you perform the song.
Yeah, it was like that. So I learned two. I mean, granted, their songs are like 7 minutes long, so
Right.
I mean, you have to count that in too. But yeah, it was two songs that were like probably the most difficult, I guess. And then just wanting to like they met me, or at least Herman met me a few times too, to like really kind of question me and my personality, because that's part of, obviously, like being in a band isn't just that. There's so much that goes into it. Like you have to get along with these people. You have to make sure they don't have any drug or alcohol problems, or like they're reliable and they're like, whatever. So
Right.
um, yeah, it was like this, like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna get this gig or not. And then I think he told me in December of 2019 that, all right, yeah, you're coming on tour with us, like starting, like you're gonna be flying out here in like basically 2 months or a month and a half or whatever. I'm like, oh my god! So I had to like learn the rest of the set and then basically meet the band for the first time, because I had only met them briefly when at their show, and they didn't even know I was like the bassist yet. They just knew I was like one of like, I think, three people that that possibly was going to be in the band. Um, and we didn't get any rehearsals either, so I was like terrified, not sleeping, like, oh my god, I'm just gonna have to go on stage. I've never used in-ears before, like, wireless system or like any of this shit. Like,
So your
I was
in
like,
ears wireless, you don't even know how to communicate like a, an in ear mix because it's an entirely
yeah,
different
I have
beast.
never done that before. I mean, luckily it wasn't, it took me about a couple shows and they would help me kind of dial it in. But even like that first gig, like as a lot of tours happen, where it's like on the first night, everyone's like running behind and still setting things up. So we got like basically a line check for our sound check, and like quickly just dialed some crap in. And I'm like, I don't even know what's happening right now. We didn't even get a rehearsal or anything. So
How did that first gig go?
honestly, not the best, but by I'd say by second night, it was definitely fine. But it went better than I thought it would. So, because I had no idea what to expect, and I didn't know if the fans were gonna hate me too. I was like this first female they've ever played with, and I didn't know
Right.
what their crowd was like. I'm thinking this metalhead dudes, like, luckily, their fan base is surprisingly just so nice, and for the most part supportive. Like, there's been some haters, but like for the most part, people have been pretty nice and welcoming, and the guys in the band are awesome, because I didn't even know what I was like, God, these guys could, like, I don't know what they're even like,
Right.
um, getting to know all these people on the bus for the first time, the crew, and it was a lot, but it went very well, and that first tour was amazing. So
How so that the first tour starts in January?
I flew out, I think, January 31st, but we started like early February, so it was basically a year ago now.
And so
um,
how many gigs did you guys were you able to do? Were you able to finish the shows that were booked, or you were?
yeah,
Great.
God, don't quote me on this. I think we did 18 maybe on that first one, or like a
Yeah.
couple work weeks worth, um, in Europe, and we finished that. But then we started a US tour and got 5 shows in, and then had to shut down because of Corona. So
Right.
um, yeah, hoping we can get back to it eventually soon enough here, and maybe by the end of the year. But I'm
Right.
glad at least I got to do something before the world shut down. So,
Um
yeah.
what a crazy story. So how let me ask you this. How many songs are in a Dragonforce set? How long are you guys playing? Like
We're playing an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Not
So I can't
every
remember
song
off the
is
top of my head.
7 minutes
Probably
long.
12 or 13,
Yeah.
14. I don't know, maybe
I mean,
around there.
that's a lot of material to learn.
Yeah.
I actually have nightmares. Like I have when I was a kid, I had different like recurring nightmares about like Cold War kind of shit. But now the recurring nightmare that I have is that I'm on stage to play and I don't know the music. Like that is my nightmare. I have that nightmare once every couple weeks.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Fuck, it's the most stressful horseshit ever. Um,
Yup.
but no train wrecks. You've fucking
Thank
nailed it.
God, not any major ones. I mean, I definitely made some mistakes, but for the most part, it went pretty smooth and pretty good. But yeah, I was definitely feeling that up until that first like show or two. Like just the months, like couple months I had like leading up to that point, I was like beyond stress and like practicing like 8 hours a day, like I don't know what I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I'm ready for this shit. Like all these things happening at once. Like it was a lot to take in, but yeah, I definitely had that same nightmare. But luckily, yeah, it went all right. So,
But also any like you're probably more critical of yourself than anyone else on stage.
I
We
think
all are,
everybody is. Yeah. At least you should be. You know, like
right?
I'm definitely my worst critic, but yeah.
I know you said that your first bass was that student model Yamaha, but you're playing those Grecos now, which are
Mhm.
killer.
Yeah, I love them. They're awesome. So I was Jeff, who plays with you,
Who
was
got the
actually
Jerry shirt?
yes. So Jeff, I happened to randomly meet one time, actually at the Whiskies, funny enough, um, and he was playing a Zamitis bass, and I had never seen one before, and I'm like, hey man, like that's a sick bass. He's like, you want to play it? I'm like, yeah. So I'm playing it. I'm like, wow, it actually plays really freaking cool. And it like looks beautiful. Like so that's what obviously drew me to it originally. I'm like, wow, it looks beautiful, but it plays freaking awesome too. So that was like my goal going to NAM like a couple months after I had met him. I'm like, I just kept like researching Zamitis. I'm like, that's amazing. That's like my dream bass now. And Jeff was awesome, so he, basically introduced me to Zamitis. So I went to NAM and I'm like, hey, I have this band. Can I want to play your instrument. So I was endorsed as Zamitis, and then about a year or two into it, they collided with Greco, and they own Greco as well now. So
Right.
I've been starting to play the Grecos, and I freaking love them. They're killer basses. So
I've owned a number of mostly vintage Grecos. I had like a Greco Firebird. I
nice.
had a Greco Thunderbird. My oldest, they were like 70s, 80s things. My
Mhm.
Thunderbird was like a 89. But though, I mean, a Thunderbird looks so cool. Like there's very little that looks more cool and rock and roll than a Thunderbird. But God, they are a fucking bear.
Yeah, I have one Thunderbird, and
It's like
I
driving
can't
an
get
old
used to the
pickup truck.
shape.
It's not cool. I mean, it's great for driving around in a field or whatever, but it's like you don't want to drive
Yeah,
in the city with that thing.
exactly. So, yeah, I much prefer my WS or BG bases from Greco, but
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Good for you. Uh, what do you think you'll get a signature bass? Everyone in Dragonforce got to have a signature bass
I don't know. I hope
or a
so.
signature instrument. Any
they've
talk about it at all? Any hints?
they've hinted, yeah, that they may be having that up their sleeve. So I let's keep my
let's
fingers crossed. So,
let's like without I mean, I don't know if I've tapped into a vein here that shouldn't be tapped into, or you, if you feel comfortable talking about it or not. But let's say you could just like Imagineer a dream bass. Would it be like the single cut with the engraved top? Would it be a Zamitis?
I think it would be because that is just it's so beautiful. I'd probably just try to do my own design and like maybe a little bit of a different shape or something, but I love those Semitis. I think they're freaking awesome bases, so
I played a couple. Here's the thing about the Zamitises, and I told this to the whatever last year at NAM. I went and just
uh-huh.
fucking punished those guys. Um, and the new Zamitis guitars and basses play way better than the original Tony Zamitis instruments. The original Tony Zamitis instruments, I played two of them. I've played two of them. And not as nice as the new ones.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
guess I don't yeah.
they don't play as well as the
Yeah.
new ones. The new ones are fucking great.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm
Oh, that's
excited. I think they're supposed to be coming out with a new Zemite because they only have the one base, but they're coming out with a brand new one. I think it was supposed to be last year, but probably this year or whenever the world opens back up. So
the new
I'm excited to check
body
that
design
out.
or new engraved design.
I think a new body as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So like a brand new Zemite space because they only have the one model right now, which is
Right.
great. I love it, but yeah, excited to see what else they come out with.
Do you have one of the ones with the crazy inlaid? Like
Mm-hmm.
you do.
Yeah, that's the one Jeff introduced me to, and
Oh,
that's the one
really?
I'm like, oh, like
The one that he had wasn't an engraved top. It was like one of the weird fucking abalone top or whatever.
mm, the one I saw him with. He
Crazy.
was like playing. I think he was maybe playing with like Buck Cherry or something
Yeah, he
at
was
the
out there
time.
subbing out there with those guys.
Um, but yeah, the one that I had was the that I saw him with was an engraved one. But
Have you seen the other ones with the inlay, not the engraved? They have like I don't know what it is. Is it shell or faux shell? You know what I'm talking about?
mm-mm,
Maybe they don't make them. Maybe they
yeah,
like maybe Greco dropped it. They had these
maybe.
crazy ones. They look like the entire top looks like it's shell or fucking abalone or some crazy ass shit.
Huh.
The whole top, it looks like a mosaic. That's the word I'm looking for. Good job,
For
Squires.
bass or guitar?
Oh, maybe they didn't have bases like that.
Because they only have the one bass, but they have all kinds of different cool guitar ones, like
Yeah.
kind of like what you're talking about.
How cool, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So, let me ask you this. How old are you?
I am 25 now.
You're fucking 25 and you
Yeah.
God, I feel like when I was 25 I just learned how to finally pick my nose.
I
Just like,
mean, it makes me feel better, but
huh?
it feels like yesterday I was like, 19, so I'm like, oh my God, these years are going by. I mean, even it's weird to think I was saying to Herman, I'm like, you do realize I was 23 when I auditioned. I'm gonna be freaking probably 26 the next time we even play together. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about. We've, I don't know, just time's going by too fast.
Right.
But,
But this year that tour obviously a few shows in stopped
mm-hmm,
and everyone sort of goes home. And I think we all thought, oh, what's this going to be? A few months, maybe 5 months, 6 months.
totally.
Uh, and sorry, Charlie, right? But it does. I mean, you don't seem like a person that's gonna sit on their hands. You get back to work.
Yeah, Yeah, so we've recorded, we actually just finished our Vigil, a new Vigil of War EP. So very excited about that. We have already released two singles from it, and we
Ah,
did a video for it, which was really cool because it was the first time I directed the video, but then my guitar player also edited the video. So we did it. It was like a DIY thing. It was really cool, and like, so we're trying to do a video for every single song on this EP. So we're coming up with some stuff right now to be doing that in the next week for another one and in the
I feel
upcoming
like I
month. So
should
we're
be
just trying to.
shocked. I should be shocked, but I'm like not surprised that you just sort of casually rolled over the idea. You're like, well, we made an EP, I directed a video, guitar player cut it. It's like, uh, you have an incredible drive and spirit.
Ah, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, are you are you like putting together recording gear? Do you have like that in the back of your mind? You're like, I'm gonna do it all and build an empire.
I mean, it always feels better when you can do everything yourself. Production for me is one thing that I don't mind paying for because I don't have the patience to produce. But my guitar player, who's literally in there right now doing it, he's
Right.
been learning engineering like a lot more in this past year. Like Corona has like he's learned a lot. So I mean, his demos keep getting better and better. So I wouldn't be surprised if yes, eventually we do end up just working with him. You know, to do everything ourselves, which would be cool because we are one of those bands that like to DIY everything. But um, yeah, we're just continuing to write a lot and you know want everything to be as good as it can be. So that's why I don't mind paying for like this amazing producer we're working with, Mike Pepe at Barefoot Studios. Like it's yeah, I'm very excited to release more because it's definitely the best stuff I think we've ever done. We've grown a lot and yeah, so
So let me ask you this: being a in 2019, let's just pretend 2020 didn't exist, and we just cruised into 2020. Let's just uh, in 2019, do label people's do label people go to shows in LA? Does that happen still?
I know. I feel like it really doesn't. I mean, we've been approached by like a couple small labels, but it's never been anything, you know, like to sacrifice. Like I think what we're doing ourselves is better at this point, but I'm definitely open to if the right things come along.
Right.
But yeah, it's weird. It's just a different time to be doing our type of music, I guess.
It's
Um,
I mean, to do anything, it's a
yeah,
different time,
yeah.
really. Uh,
So
I mean, it's just so much more realistic that people can do everything themselves. But the thing is, most people don't have the drive to do it, right?
it's
Or
very hard to find people with drive, like, or at least the same amount of drive. So, which is why I ended up doing it all myself. So,
right. Do
but
you are you the kind of person, do you think, that you're doing a lot of things yourself I mean, do you trust other people to do things outside of production?
depends.
Right.
Yeah, it
See, here's
it
the thing.
depends. I mean, I have a select. I feel like we have our solid people that we do work with. Like our producer, we very much
Right.
trust. He's amazing. The guy who shot like cinematography, our last video, we're gonna keep using. He's amazing. Um, our artist that we worked for a very long time was really good. But now we're starting to like kind of branch out and figure out exactly just yeah our team unit that the things that we can't do. Um, yeah, is we need to trust the people we're working with
Are
because
you
it
guys
is hard.
screening your own shirts?
What's that?
Are you guys screening your own shirts?
I'm not doing that. No, but I do have. I'm like shipping them out and coming up with the design, like
Right.
well, an artist that I trust to come up with the designs and that kind of thing. But no, I'm not screening them myself. That's one thing I'm not doing.
Hey, I don't know. I know it's a fair question to ask at this
Yeah.
point. Without throwing them under the bus, do you the people who didn't stay in the band after the first four shows? What? By the way, what year was that?
That was 2017.
27. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I know. It feels like it was yesterday, which is scary. And I'm like, that was 4 years ago?
I mean,
So,
2020 is 7 years. It was like a dog year, right?
totally. I'm like, that one doesn't count?
Um, did did those folks leave because they didn't have the same kind of dedication and energy to put into the band as you guys did?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak badly about anybody. They were nice, but I just don't think they understood what it takes to be in a band. They didn't understand, like, hey, we got to keep practicing. And, they're like,
Right,
well,
it wasn't
sure,
about just those four gigs.
yeah, and like stuff like that. It was just the little things. So it's like, it ended up being for the best, obviously. And
Right,
um, we found our solid people now. So,
right.
yeah.
I think a lot of people have energy to give to whatever, a number of things, right? But there's to have consistent energy and to have energy to put into something at times when it's giving back is very easy. But to have that same amount of energy and dedication to put into something when it is difficult,
Yeah.
that'll put you. That's a different kind of test on a person. Not everyone's cut out for that, I don't think.
Yeah, it's tough to find, and it's a hard day and age of doing it. Like you said, it's like I remember our guitar player who was with us for a long time. Like he's a great guitarist, amazing dude. But when it came down to us touring, he couldn't do it because he's like, I can't leave my job. Like, I can't get the time off work. So we ended up having to just, all right, we gotta, like, but we can't not do this. So we had to get somebody else to do it. And that just ended up working out. So, you know,
I
it's
always kind
tough,
of looked at it like this: do you have a job or do you have a career?
right?
Right? Like, how fucking important is your job? Like, especially, I mean, not that being in your 20s isn't as fucking valid as being in your 50s, but when you're in your 20s, unless you are, unless you have some fucking high level corporate job that you went to school for, probably you can do it from your phone.
Yeah,
Or
I agree.
not at all. Fuck.
Yeah.
Don't you live in a house with eight other people? That's what I did when I was 20.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I've always viewed things. I'm like, you could always, get a job later or go back to school if you need to, but like, this is the time to be doing it if you want, if you're serious about it and want to be like doing this for a living. So it's hard to find people, honestly, like our age that are even have that mindset at all or even listen to good music or play instruments. Like it's so hard to find bandmates, but I'm very
When are you going to
lucky that
make
the
your
people
trap
we have.
record?
What's that?
When are you going to make your trap record?
Never.
Uh, is it hard to find like people your age to that want to play rock music?
Yeah, because I don't feel like there's that many of us. We all know each other, like there's not that many people my age that even like let alone play, but like even just listen to good music, like rock music. So the
What
ones
are
that
people?
play and can play well are usually already in other bands or
Right.
trying to start their own or whatever, or just don't understand the other things that it takes to be in a band or have to pay their rent or whatever it is, like I
Didn't
don't know.
have to pay the rent. Come on.
I know. I'm like,
What's the
make it
worst that
work. You
can
gotta, we
happen?
gotta figure. Yeah, I don't know.
You're on tour, living your life to its full
Yeah, I
and
agree.
lowest, but also the fullest. Uh,
Yeah.
it seems crazy to me that it would be hard to find young people who are into playing rock music. I go back and forth because I'm like, fucking young people, all they do is listen to hip hop, and what's gonna happen to rock and roll? Nothing
Mhm.
against hip hop. I love hip hop. I love a lot of hip hop. I don't like a lot of the new mumbly
Yeah, me neither.
whatever. But um, you know, but also there's a whole generation of players who did have access to things like School of Rock, and those programs are like hugely popular and successful. And so is it that just a lot of a lot of people didn't stick with it?
I think so. I don't know because it's really tough finding. I feel like not that many people, at least my age, even yeah, maybe still play or I mean, a lot of the School of Rock kids that I went to school with are still doing it, which is cool, and they've made it. Like the band The Regrets, they were all in my School of Rock. Like got the girls there and like a couple other kids there have still done stuff, but I mean, I don't yeah, I don't know. It's just it's not as many as you think. Everyone thinks too like, "Oh, LA, there must be tons of people that are playing music and whatever." And it's I don't know.
As a kid, when I picked up the guitar, I never I never once considered a time in my life when I wouldn't play music.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've always owned at least one guitar, even at times when I wasn't actively playing in bands. I
Mhm.
always, at least, usually I had at least two or three guitars, let's be honest. But, yeah, not sticking with it, I mean, wasn't even something that would enter the conversation.
I know. It's weird. I don't know what it is, but
Do you, what is the greatest, there's this, God, what, I'm gonna fuck it up. Oh, I turned my phone off. There's a great song called "Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts" by Funkadelic
okay.
on the Cosmic Slop album. And I'll
Nice.
paraphrase, but George says, "You rise to your greatest, um, ugh, you basically like whatever your greatest idea of yourself is what you will rise to, but you will also like fall to whatever the lowest perversion of your thought of yourself. Like if you think you're great, then you'll be great. If you think you're a piece of shit, well, be careful what you think, right?
Mhm.
What is the like what is your greatest aspiration? What is like do you is there an end goal, or do you see it
I think
more?
I don't want to be like I don't need to be one of those people that I'm like I need to be the most whatever famous and successful and rich, but like that's not my end goal. It's like I just want to keep being able to play music for a living. Like that's a goal. Like I was only barely able to kind of start doing that last year. Like really, like where I'm like I don't need even another job, and then of course Corona happened. So I got to still hustle, but you know, if I can just keep playing music and like be comfortable enough and, keep creating, like that's successful to me. So I'm happy doing it. Yeah, I don't know. Just keep touring for as long as I'm able to, I guess. Um,
I have no doubt that that is going to happen. Yeah.
Aw,
As
thank
soon as
you.
that, yeah. No, you strike me as a person who's not gonna look at a roadblock and think like, oh, I can't get over it or around it.
Thank you. Yeah, there's definitely times where I think that, it's like you're your own worst critic or like you get lost in
Sure.
your own dark thoughts, but you always end up coming out of it and like push yourself hard enough to just, make stuff happen. So,
Are you
yeah.
doing? Do you do lessons?
That's
Are you?
not something that I do. Yeah.
It's
I
not.
mean, mm-mm.
No.
I mean, I'm not
You're like the
opposed to maybe
only
doing it
person.
eventually, but
You're the only musician on earth that hasn't resorted to teaching lessons online this year.
I know. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm still learning, so
Right.
I would feel weird having people pay me to like teach them something. I'm like 25. You know what I mean? Like maybe in like 20 years, I don't know. But I
I
have too
mean,
much stuff going on anyway.
right.
But
Uh, how else do you keep yourself busy in the last year?
I mean, doing all that stuff that I mentioned with Vigil of War has definitely
Yeah.
kept me busy. But then I'm also doing these Twitch streams twice a week,
Oh,
like, because Dragonforce is very like Herman's very big on Twitch, and he's been doing it for a few years. So I've been really just kind of learning from him. It's not something I would have ever thought I'd do because I'm not like a live streamer type of person. Like, hey guys, like that's so weird to me. But it's been good though. I mean, I'm just trying to make it my own kind of thing. Like, I like bringing on friends, like musicians, and kind of interviewing them, like how you're doing, doing that live and showing
oh, I'm,
people that happen to be watching like some new artists or bands to check out, or I'll do like VJ streams where I'll just play a bunch of bands videos and talk about it and have commentary and whatever. It's mostly a video game website, so on very rare occasions I'll play a video game, but I'm not mostly into that. I'm mostly into the music kind of stuff, so
yeah.
yeah, just been keeping busy with all that stuff. And
Do you have a hard schedule that you do that on?
I do it Tuesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific time for like an hour or so.
I'll plug that at the top of our episode. I
Hell
had no idea
yeah.
that you were doing that. That's great.
Yeah. So, that's cool.
Yeah. It's not playing music. I know. I
It's
mean, I
not.
know.
No. I
Yeah.
thought it'd be, a few months of this, and I'm like, wow, it's been almost a year. But
But it's nice to have somewhere to put your energy.
yeah. And like kind of be relevant, and like, I'm getting to know a lot, like especially with the Dragonforce crowd that, I haven't gotten to necessarily know like too many yet, but I'm getting to know a lot more people and like get to know personalities of these people on Twitch and stuff, and it's a cool community, like, and they're getting to know me better, and it's cool. So,
Right.
yeah, getting me more comfortable with that stage banter, I guess, with these live situations because I'm terrible with it. So, I'm a lot more comfortable, I think now.
Have you
Um
you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Have you gone and learned the entire Dragon Force catalog this year because you could?
I should have, but I've learned some stuff that I haven't, that's not in our set, but no, I have not yet
They're
done it.
probably not the kind of band that would just be like pull a song out of a hat like randomly.
No, they would let me know. I mean, at least like a couple days. Oh, here's a new song. Like, here's a couple days probably at least to learn it.
Right.
But I don't think it's, anything like that. So they have a pretty big catalog, and their songs are very long. So I mean, and yeah, I don't know.
We did a tour with them, a festival. It was a festival tour
Oh,
like
cool.
6 years ago or something.
No way.
6 or 7 years ago in Australia. It was uh it was a like everyone was on it, Metallica and fucking Slayer, and it was pretty crazy. It was a nutty thing. But what a crazy band. What a great, like, just jaw-droppingly technical onslaught. Is
Yeah, I
there
mean,
what is the thing what kind of things have you learned from that gig that you weren't expecting to learn?
I'm just very impressed at how much they really, I mean, they don't stop working ever. Like, especially, like, Herman is just every day. Like, very, like, they've all got their own thing, like, he's the business guy making all this stuff happen. Sam writes all the music for, or a lot of it, and Sam also has built, like, we have these giant, like, arcade machines on the stage that we can run up on, and, like, there's, like, confetti and all this awesome stuff happening, and, like, he's hand built those. Like, people don't realize that kind of stuff. Like,
Really?
I'm learning so much, just like, because I feel like I do a lot in my band, but they do it times 1,000. So I'm like a student, and like I really respect all of them, like, because they're obviously insane, amazing at their instruments. So it's an honor to even like be playing with them. But they do a lot more than people even realize. So that was like pretty cool to find out. So.
It's probably cool to come back with that inspiration and probably has sprouted some ideas for you.
Oh yeah, I'm like, God, I'm not doing enough. Like, frick. Yeah.
Take it easy. You're too young to drive yourself into the ground. Um, well, listen, it's late here, and I gotta wake up at 5 in the morning.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me, especially since yesterday my
Oh
internet
yeah,
was
yeah.
crashing. So,
This is the way it goes. This is the age of Corona. This is how it.
yeah.
But I
No, this is
appreciate
fun
you
though.
taking so much time to talk.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you for having me.
what a cool story.
Yeah. I
Uh,
can't wait to see you play live, like when this world is, back to normal as
don't hold your
well.
breath.
Uh,
But we won't say what it is, but we have a video coming.
hell yeah.
Yeah, which I think is
Cool.
it's going to be great. I just
Awesome.
um I just secured a singer. Did I tell
Oh, are
you?
you talking about the thing that we did?
Yeah,
Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, I know the guitar player and the drummer.
yeah.
Awesome.
I'm gonna I'll tell you later. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
it'll be great, and so people should expect that as well. I'm not
Awesome.
sure how quickly. Hopefully, within 2 or 3 weeks, it should be done. These fucking videos, man, they take like some of them take months.
I bet. I mean,
Months.
schedule wise and
Yeah.
trying to rely on people and whatever.
What are you trying to say? Musicians aren't 100% Johnny on the spot reliable?
Exactly.
That's crazy talk.
No, I think what you're doing is really cool. So I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Oh, thank you. I didn't invent the wheel, of course. It's just a fun thing. Uh, and I think it's fun. It's keeps me busy and gets me interacting with other musicians. So you know,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
thank you so much, and uh, I'll send you an email also so I can get your mailing address and your T-shirt size. I have a gift
Oh.
pack to send out to everyone who appears in one of my videos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm honored.
All right. I will talk to you soon, and I'll let you know when this is going to go up too. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have
Take care.
a nice night
You
and
too.
hell yeah. All
Bye.
right, bye.